Good morning. So what I want to talk to you this week about is about your data collection. Students often get very focused on how many do I need, and the minimum requirements you'll find in the dissertation or the thesis handbook, and they'll outline how many surveys or how many interviews, or if you're doing mixed methods, what combination you need. But much more importantly than just focusing on the numbers is to think about, am I collecting rich data? This is really the question that I want you to pose for yourself today. So what do I mean, first of all, by rich data? I suppose what I'm talking about is the quality of the data that you're collecting. We can all go out and run interviews or collect questionnaires, but we need to be sure that the data we're collecting is fit for purpose. So the first thing you need to ask yourself is the data I'm collecting going to help me to answer my research question and my research objectives? Now, hopefully you did that when you were devising your tools, and so you're okay, but you need to maybe revisit that now in light of having collected some of your data and think about, am I okay here in terms of when I come to answer my research objectives or to address them? And we talked a little bit about this last week, how maybe the thing to do is to start looking at your data underneath your research objectives and seeing which data is answering which objective and how am I doing in terms of the data that I have. What I would also say then in terms of thinking of the richness of your data, and I suppose what the word richness implies to us is that, it's really, really important and it's really deep in terms of what it's telling us. And we can look at that in two different ways. From a quantitative perspective, what we want to be sure of is that we have enough good data to be able to engage in the statistical analysis that we want to engage in. And so yes, that's about the quantity, but it's also about the sorts of quality, about the sorts of variables of data that we've collected and how they link with each other or relate with each other. So we need to be thinking about those questions around the richness or the appropriateness of the data. When we're talking about qualitative research and interviews, we need to be asking ourselves, am I getting a lot of good quotes here that are going to help enrich my discussion and that are going to help me to show, I suppose, the information that I've gotten to defend my arguments. And so what we're looking at in particular here is we're thinking about, is the quality of my data good enough? Not just is the quantity of it good enough? And it's a good point to ask yourself that now while you're still in the field, but you're starting probably to get towards the end of data collection. So it's a good point to stop and just challenge yourself. Am I collecting rich data? And if I'm not, is there something I need to do to be able to change that? And again, it's an important question because it makes you step back from focusing on, I need this number of questionnaires or this number of interviews, to thinking about quality, because ultimately that is what's going to make or break your dissertation in the end, is the richness of the data. And that's what we're looking for, is really good, rich data that will allow you to effectively address your research objectives. So hopefully that's of help this week. I'll talk to you next time.